Hi. So today I have for you the Just Flight's rendition of the British Aerospatiale 146. It's one of the latest product lines from Just Flight, but they they have a long track record now from producing some really nice airplanes, especially in the general aviation section, like the Pipers and um, I think they did a Cessna as well. And I believe that this 146 is a direct contribution to that quality line. So I'm very excited to do a review of this aircraft, right? Because it's very study level, but you just have to read the manual to know how to use it completely. One of the features that will stand out immediately to you is the high resolution graphics, right? Ultra high resolution graphics of this airplane. And the best thing is that these graphics don't require very high-end system capability to be able to run it and on a reasonable um, configuration of your simulator. So let me show you around this external model. Everything is developed with really in relation to a real 146 that Just Flight team had the privilege of using. I believe it was the Royal Air Force model that they use. So you can see here that everything is developed in realistic detail. Attention to detail is very high. The reflections are fantastic. So as a user of this aircraft, I feel great pride in using it. The other aspect of this aircraft is its sound. The entire sound environment is so fantastic that it makes you want to come back to fly. The engines have a very realistic high definition sound. Apparently you could even hear the flaps whistling in the air. Um, the APU, everything has like a fantastic immersive sound environment. Even the hydraulic panel, the hydraulic pumps have a sound as well. So when you're taxiing this thing, it makes all sorts of unique sounds that keep you enjoying it. Let's see the configurator. Where is it? No, okay, yes, it's here. Right. You can add the ground power. It's supposed to be here, but right now the aircraft is like really off. Yeah, that's it there. And the one in real life, as you can see, this external power just goes down to the ground, but I think I saw the one in real life has like a long extension that extends from some power source and comes to the aircraft. So it's not like a GPU, and that's very realistic. There isn't any cabin in this aircraft, but there is one if you would like to, if you just do it this way. Aircraft left side. Yeah, this is the only way you get one, but from the cockpit there isn't one. I think that these seats are actually of the external model. So that when you look into the aircraft from the external model, you actually see like a 3D environment. Yeah, that's what that is. But from the cockpit, there isn't any seats and so on. And of course, you know there are three models that come with this aircraft. There's the 100, the 200, and the 300, later referred to as the RJ85, the RJ100, and I think the RJ70. Yeah. And each has its own unique flight dynamics, weight distribution, takeoff speeds, and stuff like that. I know you are impressed with that external model. I am. I feel great pride in using it. Just let me close all of these doors now. Let's have a look inside. Yeah, it's where the most impressive part of this aircraft is the high resolution cockpit. And let me tell you, everything in this cockpit works with exception for the circuit breakers and maybe here, but everything that concerns the pilot works. Everything has been done in high resolution detail. This is the oxygen. The side panel works, the oxygen panel works. Even the compass sluice switches work. The compass system switches like these to, you know, slave the compass. Once you see these things, you know, you begin to become impressed, you know. That it's not like you see that these buttons here, when you look to click on them, they don't operate. This aircraft is very intensive on the systems modeling. So exactly as you are intended to operate this aircraft as a real pilot, just as like a PMDG quality will, or Majestic Software Q400 will, that's what you are able to do with this aircraft. This is the electronic flight bag, as they call it, but it's not really much of an electronic flight bag, you know. It's just like a payload manager, but this is not the payload manager that you should be using. There's an external one, and you're able to set the, obviously you're able to control the doors and stuff like that. You can set the cockpit states. Let's set it to turn around. The aircraft is actually powered with the external power, or the APU is also on. APU will be on in a minute. The hydraulic pump is on so that you can extend the stairs and stuff. After that hydraulic pump, after you extend the stairs, and you just turn off the hydraulic pump, you know. You can listen to how immersive and how high definition the sounds are. Every button. The Just Flight team has recorded hundreds of samples of sounds from the aircraft, and that's where you get all these unique sounds from. This here is the ground test switches. So this is where they intend you to test everything with the aircraft. You know, these smaller aircraft, everything is there's not a lot of security, you know. So you must test everything. It's not like a 747 where you everything tests itself, or you know. Let's go through some of these tests. Yeah, that's in order to it's not a pop-up. So if you want to keep it there, you have to press it, right click, and then right click. Press and hold the right click, press and hold left click to hold it down, and then press and hold right click very shortly, and it will hold. Let me show you the really nice one. There. The stall, let me where's this? Why isn't it? The stick shaker. All of them will work as intended. This aircraft comes with a very fantastic manual, and that goes very great into detail with the system's description. So you read the manual, and all of a sudden you know the airplane. It seems like the manual that they got from the real aircraft, so it has its great value with that. This system's modeling makes me feel as if this was a Majestic Software Q400. Now, now that I've let you know what are the good aspects of this aircraft in terms of its systems, let me let you know what is not so good or bad. And the first point is this, FMS. This is what you call a lightweight FMS. Not very great detail, it only has about 30% of its functionality. It does not store any flight plans. The fuel function is kind of weird because you have to enter all of these by yourself. I remember on the Majestic Software Q400, you just entered the fuel on board and your zero fuel weight, and you will get an indication of the gross weight automatically. But in this aircraft, you have to enter each one. So I think let's simulate that we have you have to write the basic weight. You can find it here. 54230. Car simulate. I think this aircraft has a maximum 112. So the cargo is right here, 1850. So zero fuel weight is now 70, you see? So this zero fuel weight here is different from this one. That's why I don't enjoy using it. The fuel on board is let's see how much. 20,000, 759. See, so we got a different growth rate, but this, whichever one, you know, it's, I like to use the external fuel and payload manager, so that's the weight that I use. Nav, I think this, I don't think you're able to set it. Oh yeah, you are. Okay, so it has some functionality, you know. But it's very limited, especially in the flight plan area. As I mentioned, you don't save flight plans. So what you have to do is enter your flight plan for every flight. So after, let's say, and it does arrival routes. It does arrivals and departures very nicely. But imagine this. No approach. It does not give you approach. No ILS, no RNAV. You want to take that in? You want to take a second to take that in? So there's no such thing as RNAV approach with this aircraft. You always have to do ILS or VOR or ADF or visual. ILS is the only precision approach that you have, which is common, but you don't have the non-precision approach of the RNAV because this aircraft does not detail approaches. You have to do the approach on your own. You either take vectors or you go to the initial approach fix, whether it's the VOR or whether it's a DME arc or something like that, and you do it on your own. The FMS does not direct you to the airport, to the runway. It does give you departures, as I said. You can enter what runway you're taking off from, and these are departures. These are the departures for this airport. That's about it. It also does not give you VNAV capability, and in your nav page why doesn't it work? Oh, okay, let's go to KSAN. So in your nav page you cannot select which waypoint you want to be your next waypoint of your route. All these if you're accustomed using the Majestic software Q400, you immediately recognize this FMS, and then you will also immediately recognize that wait, this thing does not work. So as I said, it only has about 50% capability. Let's go to lists. Okay, lists only work maybe if it's at the start of a waypoint, but it does work. I checked that, but I'm not sure what's the extent of it working because I don't normally use that. See, these things don't work. Normally you can select here maneuver, and that allows you to maneuver the aircraft without changing from the LNAV function, which is very well detailed in the Majestic software Q400. The reason why I keep comparing this to the Majestic Q400 is that that aircraft only costs about $72 US, and this aircraft costs $82 US. So this is a direct competitor of that aircraft, but yet the Q400 is better detailed. It has a better FMS, and many of these systems work a little bit better than this aircraft. That aircraft does not have a high resolution cockpit and external model, and that aircraft doesn't have a good sound package as good as this one. But this one lacks grace in terms of the FMS. The other area that this lacks grace is it does not have a working terrain awareness system. Now you can accept that it does not have a weather radar. You have to have the Reality XP weather radar in order to get this to work. But no terrain as well? Where am I supposed to get a terrain? What you call that? What you call a terrain? A terrain awareness and avoidance system, you know, the TAWS. Right? So the terrain radar, I need that in this aircraft. It's mandatory for these airplanes. And they have not, AdjustFlight has not included a terrain awareness system for me. So I'm flying this thing through, you know, in all those clouds at 900 feet. I have no clue where those mountains are. A commercial aircraft like this without a terrain radar is non-existent. It does not exist. Terrain radars have been in existence since the beginning of commercial heavy metal commercial airplanes, and this aircraft does not have one. They haven't even said where should I go to get one. You know, it's this aircraft. See, and I see that it's supposed to be here, but it does not work. The third aspect of that I find a great issue of is the cockpit save system. If you save your flight at 25,000 feet and turn your simulator off and come back in 2 hours, you expect that when you load this aircraft it will be working the same way, no programming necessary. The flight guidance control panel will be set, the RNAV will be set, the FMS will be fully remembering its features. That's not the case. This FMS completely turns off. Here returns exactly what you see it is here. These throttle reference gauges, you have to set these before before on your pre-flight. They all return to 0, and you see how long it takes to set it. Look how long it takes me to set these gauges. In my private use of this airplane, I only set like a maximum 2 of them. I don't set all of them. Each one takes like about 20 seconds, 10 seconds to set up. So I'm now establishing for you that if you are similar that likes to do takeoff, do the departure at night and wake up the next morning and finish the flight, do the landing, it's not possible with this aircraft. Everything resets back to 0 unless you're willing to reset the aircraft at that altitude, which I'm not. I just do the whole flight. So it's mandatory now that I do the whole flight. The cockpit safe system is really a joke in this airplane. Okay, so and that is what I like. One more thing. Let me show you. I'm gonna turn the avionics off. See, they're off. Look at this. I can still speak to the tower, to the ATC. No avionics, it's off. It's completely off.
Contact tower on 119.7 when ready.
Another thing is, they have AdjustFlight has modeled this communication control panel very nicely, so I know how to use it. If you notice, the VHF radio is right here, and this is the volume. It was on full just now. See, that means that I just turned it off. It's on now. So this entire VHF communication panel is non-serviceable. It does not work. I'm not sure about these though. I think these work. Yeah, these work. You can hear, you can hear your music with the Morse codes. Those should work. Each one of these issues that I'm speaking to you of, I have identified it to Just Flight, and they will review it on their time. But let me tell you this, other than that, this aircraft is fantastic. But you have noticed, yeah, I hope you have noticed that there's no electronic flight instrument system here. And I feel that they Just Flight has only made these instruments because it does not require much software coding effort. There's a lot of software coding effort to bring the authentic EFS that this aircraft is normally used. But I see they just gave me this. So I think that I think that they just did that because it takes too long to make the proper one. But this works well. I do lots of approaches. If you check out my channel, I've done lots of flights with this aircraft. Lots of IMC flights as well. Instrument meteorological conditions. I did ILS approaches. I did my own ILS approaches. I also did vectors. And it works. So that's my introduction for you to this aircraft and its external model and its internal model. The system's modeling is excellent. That's a given. You can fly this aircraft whole day, and the sounds really keep you immersed. Very, very addictive. It's just this. Lolly, it's just this thing here. Whatever it is that they did here, I don't agree with. So I will show you a flight now from Santa Barbara to San Diego. You can do the cockpit preparation checks now. So Kelly buzz down, 3 green. Master warning system test. Checked and reset. Radar off. Air brakes in. Fuel levers off. Flaps up and indicating. Brake pressure yellow. Checked. Nav lights on. Batteries on and checked. Gear down, 3 greens. Brakes yellow, park. I don't know why they want this engine ice on, especially since it does not we're not in any icing conditions. It's just a feature of this aircraft. Alright, so we can begin to set up our main panel now. Let's set up our FMS first. Our departure procedure will be the mission 3. We'll be departing from runway 07, climb runway 075 to 520 feet, then right turn directly to mission. Select runway 07, 5, transition, we will use through runway 7. So this will be an RNAV departure, so we will select RNAV. Departing from 0, heading 07. Look at this. Both of them turn at the same time. When it's in RNAV mode, the OBS and the heading selectors turns at the same time. If I select the RNAV mode, that's when I can control the heading alone. I've never seen that before. Must be an error. I don't think that it is an error.
Santa Barbara clearance delivery. American 1185 IFR to Lindbergh. Ready to copy.
American 1185 is cleared to Lindbergh Airport as filed. Fly runway heading climb and maintain 9,000. Departure frequency is 120.55. Squawk 0706.
American 1185 cleared at Lindbergh Airport as filed. Fly runway heading climb and maintain 9,000. Departure on 120.55. Squawk 0706.
American 1185. Readback is correct.
Okay. Let's do our fuel and payload. So This flight for the RJ-85 will require 13,425 pounds of fuel. Let's go to the load manager. So here's our fuel and payload manager. You select the variant for passengers, almost full cargo. You need 13,425 pounds of fuel. Remember, this airport only has a 6,000-foot runway. Okay, so we gotta watch our weight and use full flaps. Connect to SIM and then apply. So now our aircraft is representative of our fuel requirements and our weight. So we have a total weight of 85,000 pounds. This card, speed card, gives us our current weight, speed references for our current rate. It's very easy to use. We'll be using a flap 30 takeoff, which is a very short runway. VR is 117. V2 is 1. V2 will be 123. V flap retraction is 186. V single engine climbs engine out, climb speed is 196. So that's our speed card set. Is the Trust management system. Takeoff setting for temperature. Let's check our weather. Local area reports. 2986. Altimeter. Wind is 0804 knots. Temperature 17. We will look for like an unknown of 94%. So we can reduce. We can use an assumed temperature of 0. Yeah, we try to maximize that because we're on a short runway. But we will not use that. We're looking for about 95. Yeah. These things are very slow. I find that in my flights, in my private flights, I've just learned to use only one, you know. But I will go about the configuration, the full configuration for this flight. It moves very slowly.
hope the TMS doesn't bring it back to 92 during my takeoff. Right. Okay, so that's my TMS. And my speed card set. We will be using an LNAV takeoff. So let me show you the departure. 075 to 520, not more than 210 knots, and then turn right directly to Mission. From Mission, then we will move on with our route. That's it. Minimum 520, maximum 210 knots. Remember, you need the AC pump to retract the air stairs.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
Before start procedure. Safety exterior checks complete. Brakes, yellow and park. Park check. Pressure and temperatures check. You have to check the temperature with this brake temperature gauge here. Thrust levers, fuel or this flight will be up to flight level 210. So we flight set 21. Yeah, on this inner scale. Ice detection on. Flow meters 0. Fuel content checked. The flight data recorder is in the back here. This is the flight data recorder. You have to set the day and I believe the month, the day and month, and like a unique number here. Navies and you're gonna set. Totals set and cross-checked. Let me go through the departure briefing with you. So takeoff weight is 85, approximately 86,000 pounds. Takeoff speed is flaps 30. VR 117, V2 123, flap retraction of 186, and the engine and operative climb out as 196. Rated takeoff power is set to 95% with minimum 92.3%. Standard instrument departure would be the mission 3. We'll be taking off on runway 7, so we take off at 075 up until 510, 20 feet. maximum 210 knots, then we turn right, direct to mission, and then following our commanded route. Our commanded route will then take us directly to Kipton and then to Bennett. Kipton is in the direction 079, 10 miles away. After departure, the runway heading, the direction that we must travel is 123 at 520 feet. The weather is quite calm, but there's broken clouds at 1200 feet. Our one engine in operative procedure is standard, but we will require vectors for fuel dump and not fuel dump. We will just return for an underweight landing. Outbound radial attract is 075 until 520 feet. Acceleration altitude is 1000 feet. Holding point, we will use the entire runway. Initial turn direction is 123 at 520 feet. And no icing procedures are required because our outside temperature is quite high. That's our departure briefing. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. Departure briefing complete. Max warning system reset. Thrust management and on speed set. Before start checklist complete. Let's do the engine start checks. Start procedure. Beacon on. Box off. Before start checks, checklist, APU gen set, beacon on. Max APU air on, engine anti-ice on, AC pump on, fuel pumps on, start power on, engine master start on, start selector engine 4, engine start.
Ground to flight deck.
Go ahead.
Communication check, please, and confirm that the brakes are set.
Communications are okay and the brakes are set.
Thanks.
We are ready for pushback and engine start. Facing north.
Roger. Facing north. Release brakes.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back. You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
Wait until the N2 reaches 10% and then introduce the fuel. and some good working needles. Engine stable. Starter cut out. Let's go for engine
Pushback
3.
complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Parking brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a safe flight.
Oil pressure rising. Oil quantity. Good. This oil quantity is 3/4. These oil quantities need to be refilled. I wonder how to do that. Wow. It's not perfect, you know, and that's not full. It needs to be better than that. Let's go for engine number 2. How do I refill the oil? And this aircraft, by the way, has failures. If you don't disable the failures, the other day I got a hydraulic yellow system failure where the brakes could not, the parking brake could not be released, and the brake pressure was not being detected in the yellow. You know, I normally disable those things, you know, because every time one happens, you just have to select a new aircraft. You can't fly the airplane. But it's very nice that they included that in this aircraft. This button here is the disconnect for the throttle management system. You're supposed to disconnect the TMS at 200 feet. And I was always I'm always never able to do it because I don't have a throttle button set for that on my joystick, and I can't turn my attention to here when I am landing at 200 feet. You know, I'm supposed to press this button here or this one. See TMS, disconnect. That's what it does. Okay, so after start procedure, flaps 30. 1, 2, 3. Auto start checklist. Start power, no. Start selector, off. Engine anti-ice off. Generators on. Brake fan, auto on. Hydraulics on and checked. Heaters on. EPU and engine air on. Set. Fans and cabin air set. TMS set. Doors closed. Equipment room. Transponder set. After charge start checks complete.
Santa Barbara ground, American 1185 with Charlie, ready to taxi IFR. American 1185, taxi 2 and hold short of runway 7, using taxiway Bravo Alpha Papa. Contact tower on 119.7 when ready. Taxi 2 and hold short runway 7, using taxiway Bravo Alpha Papa. American 1185.
Okay, clear left. Flaps 30 set and indicating. Feel of the controls is very realistic. Everything is so finely tuned, you know. I like taxiing the safe lane. I like controlling the engines. I like hearing the sounds. Feels so immersive and advanced. I believe that this is even better than the 737 Classic by Captain Sim and Milvers. I believe it's much nicer, it's a much better prepared aircraft. Of course, we will be using the entire runway. This is a 6,000 foot runway. We have great flap set. We can even set flaps 33. I think I will do that. I think I will set flaps 33. Full down. So we need to get off this runway, you know. Okay, before takeoff checks, controls. We have to check yellow and green. This is brake sources. Yellow, checked. Green, checked. So there are three brake sources: yellow, green, and emergency yellow. We're back to yellow now. Flaps selected on 33 and checked. Flight instruments set. Flight director, we have set our flight director to heading mode first, and then when we get to 520, then when we have to turn right to heading 123, then we will set to LNAV. Or we can do that now. I don't mind. Flight director, trims. Yesterday I did a flight and I did the departure, and I found that the trim, even though I have it set into the yellow band, I have to trim down so significantly just to get the aircraft off, to be able to control the aircraft in the air. You know, this has to get down. I press the trim down button and I find that it's gone, so I will see if that happens today. This configuration warning, I don't think it's allowing me to take off with flaps 33. So you'll see. Yeah, it doesn't allow me to take off with flaps 33.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
Cabin is secure.
Checklist complete.
Santa Barbara Tower, American 1185, ready to go. Runway 7, IFR to Lindbergh. American 1185, cleared for takeoff. Runway 7. Cleared for takeoff. Runway 7, American 1185.
TMS set to take off. Power set, flex achieved. Speed alive, both sides. 80 knots cross-checked. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate of climb, gear up.
So we're now on our way to mission, which is 12 nautical miles away. And turn left and 132 to Kipton. We're climbing at a speed of 220 knots. Tell you about the sync. This autopilot is set not by a vertical speed indicator, but the sync button. The sync, which is located here in the back, the control stick, it is set by using, I think, the Concord Visor or reheat, Concord reheat, but the manual states it. I have set it on my joystick, so you press the button and you get control of the aircraft when the autopilot is on. So like I need to accelerate now to 260 knots for the climb. I'm going to put in the sync on, and you see that white button there, this for sync. And I'm going to reduce the altitude to accelerate. When I get the speed that I want, I'm just continuing the climb, and I'm going to climb in IAS mode now. The sync is still on. I'm going to trim, send the aircraft, take the sync off. So the autopilot is still on it, and it's now recaptured my required setting. Check this. Set AC up.
SoCal approach American 6088 is at 10,300, descending 7,700. Air Canada 551,
my climb
turn
speed.
left, heading 155. American 6088.
so it can provide such a high quality experience with the sound and the high resolution graphics and the way everything just works. Now, let me tell you this, that San Diego right now has some IMC conditions. So upon reaching our cruising altitude, I'm going to have to review our arrival and approach procedure like really intensely. There's no map, you don't see where you're going, and I'm not going to be using vectors. I'm going to be going directly to the VOR and doing a procedural approach, you know, using the procedure terms and so on. So I'm going to be telling the ATC that I want to go directly to the VOR. In order to do that, I have to have a complete understanding of the approach. I like this style of flying. If this aircraft could have given you an optional electronic HSI and navigational display, you know, electronic flight instrument system, optional, then that would have been fantastic. There's no airline purchase a 146 in this age and give it to its pilots without installing an electronic flight instrument system. This analog thing is completely outdated by about 60 years. And it's completely not required. So I can't believe that they gave us this whole thing. I believe that one of the reasons why they give it to us with Just Flight would be because it just requires this little programming, you know, development, little programming, instead of making the authentic electronic flight instrument system that was installed on the later models of the 146 for us. I believe that it should have been made, and this analog thing should have been optional. You know, I sense that some cheapness went on, especially with this FMS. Cheapness went on in the development of this software product, and I cannot understand why it's priced at $82 US, and I don't think that I've seen evidence of cheapness. But you know, it's a fantastic airplane and I like it, so let's just make the best of what we have.
Southwest 2090, South South approach, Roger.
San Diego. Wind 000 at 1 knot, so that means we're landing at runway 9. Broken at 1400 feet. Temperature is 21. Visibility is unlimited. Altimeter is 2990. But this broken 100 at 1400 feet means that we will be landing in most definite IMC conditions. That is not visual because our approach starts at 2000 feet, so there's no such thing as visual there. So we have to approach. We're not going to be using vectors today. I want to do this approach with you using the viewer. I want to show you what it would have been like without the EVIS. But vectors are a fully established, fully accepted way to land this airplane, which is available to me right now. But I think I would prefer the MZB viewer approach, just to show you what you need to do. Even that you don't want to use any vectors, because the ATC tends to vector you very long approaches, like 18 and 20 mile approaches and stuff. I would prefer to do it more efficiently with the MZB. If you weren't here, I would have been using the MZB, but the vectors. As you know, this aircraft does not have an auto throttle, so you have to set the throttle for cruise to maintain a speed of 280 knots. Okay, so let's look at the approach and the arrival. So we're looking for runway 9. This is where we'll be landing, and we'll be exiting from Bravo 4 to the right to come down to the terminal. Our arrival procedure is the COMEX 2. We'll be entering from SXC. We have to enter between flight level 290 and flight level 250. But we have flight level 210 right now, so we can't really obey that. But yeah, we'll be approaching Legion and COMEX. That one. And here. From Nado, we will go directly to the MZB. We'll be using the IRS runway 9 approach. We are seeking to enter directly from Mission Bay MZB. The ATC will advise what altitude is required. Over the MZB, we turn left, right, heading 241. So intercept that 241 outbound radial from MZB. We will then fly over the initial approach fix, which is Gato, which is a mixture, which is an intersection of 7.3 DME, KSAN, the localizer, and MZB 4.6. From here, we then follow an approach procedure, flying it for 45 seconds outbound, and then turning right to a heading of 250 to reach. No, from this intersection that we begin to turn left to a heading of 275. You see? So 241 until we reach Gato, and then over Gato we turn left, and then 275, which means it will carry us this way. At Gato we expect it to be at 1000, so over the Mission Bay we will need to be at 2100 feet. We're going to turn right, then at, I believe, note whatever DME that we want. I will be comfortable using like a 13 or a 13 DME. M localizer SAN DME. We're gonna do a procedure turn to 230, then to 05 for 45 seconds, and then 050 until intercepting that localizer. So let's go input that stuff now. Keep it paused, right? So you don't, because you don't know when your top of descent will be. Arrival 090, COMEX 2, SXC procedure, flight plan. So after SXC we should be seeing our evidence of our arrival route. Let me turn it up and see that this system has. Notice this SXC is number 6 and it says 0.0 nautical miles. If I come back here, I have my own SXC. It's 25 nautical miles away. You just see this is number 5, so it has 2 entries of the same thing. When the thing reaches here, it turns on a different direction, and I'm not sure of, and it does not follow to SXC. So it arrives at SXC from here, and then it sees another SXC, so I don't know, it does not go to Slayer. I don't know what to do, and then after, so when I delete that one, the Slayer now turns to 000, it then appears right here, 0.0. And then when it reaches, eventually when I press the nav button, the thing crashes. So if that happens, you know why. But I will include it if it crashes though. I'm not going to, you will just know all about the aircraft, right? So on our arrival from SXC we go to Legion. We will reach Legion at flight level 150, no, 15,000, and COMEX at 2,000. At 13,000, and we reach Latrin at 9,000. So it's Legion, COMEX, then Lentren. Legion, COMEX, then Flesh. What's that? Slayer. Oh, Slayer is here. Then Legion, then COMEX. So Slayer, then Legion, then COMEX. Now what's Flash? Flash here, then Lintron, then X-Mans, then Clomen, X-Mans, then Clomen, then Nado at 6,000. And then obviously we'll be heading to the MZB from Nado. As I've mentioned to you, this aircraft, this FMC does not include approaches, so I have to do the approach all on my own. So let's set up for the approach. So it's they're heading directly to the MZB, Mission Bay 117.8. We're gonna set here 117.8 as our first. No, let's put 117.8 as nav radio 2. So nav radio 2 is set. Nav radio 1 will go to the localizer 111.55. 111.55. Right, so we're now set up with the frequencies. Remember that over the Mission Bay, we're gonna turn right heading 241 until 4.6 DME and Ksan 7.3 DME. Then we're gonna turn right heading 275. The approach course 275 will obviously be the reciprocal heading of 095. So the approach course will be 095. That's for now radio 1. Right, so now we are now fully configured for the approach. So now radio 1 is set to 111.55. Now radio 2 is set to 117.8. We are now 89 nautical miles from MZB. We're looking to be over MZB 2100. Alright, so this is our top of descent setting here. We have to figure out now when is our top of descent going to be. But no, we are following this arrival procedure and the altitudes depicted here. Alright, so we are prepared and ready for our descent. We are going to approach top of descent very soon. Let me tell you when the top of descent will be. So we are at flight level 210 and we are 18 miles from SXC. Okay. At SXC, we're going to begin on the approach over to Slayer and then Legion, which is expected to be at flight level 150. So from flight level 210 we'll need to descend to flight level 150 to be at the compliance altitude for Legion. Now we'll be following this approach, this vertical path here, but we need to be at 2100 feet by the MZB. So 5 miles from MZB I would like to be at flight at 2100, right, and at an approach speed of 180 and 18 flaps set. So you'll be autopilot in control and we are fully allowed, right? So so the top of descent will be, we need to get rid of 19,000 feet. So 19,000 times 3 would be 57. So 57 nautical miles from MZB. We begin that's our top of descent. That's our mandatory top of descent. Okay, so but in order to get to Legion by flight level 150, we have to be by 15,000. Sorry, we have to be. That means we're losing 6,000. So 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 nautical miles from Legion, which is over Slayer 18 so SXC to Slayer is 18, Slayer to Legion is 30. So 30 miles, so 18 miles from Legion, that's when we begin our descent. But 57 nautical miles from MCB is the mandatory top of descent points. We'll see how it goes. Legion requires us to have a minimum of 15,000. Right now we are 15 miles from SX.
American 362, contact southbound approach on 126.7. 126.7, American 362.
See? So the SXC is not turning towards 087. So I have to maybe delete this. But you see Slayer now. And save assume. From SXC to Slayer would have been the direction of 088. So I have to write it in manually. Then it will wow. 088. Problem with the Legion now. Now where's my LNAV pointing to now? So I now have to do it all manually. That's the problem.
Southbound approach, southwest 0471, at 6,250, 3,500, southwest 0471, southbound approach, Roger.
Let me try resetting the
Southwest 0471, turn right, heading 350. Turn right, heading 350, southwest
I'm not going
0471.
to enter any. Alright, so it's correct now, it has been corrected. But where's that heading? What's that 120 heading? Okay, so that maybe is my heading, my direct heading to Slayer.
Southwest Jet 471, traffic is 10 o'clock, 4 miles at 3,700. Radar reports of its sight. SoCal approach, Air Canada 553, been climbing through 5,300 or 5,600.
Let's go direct to Legion. Yeah, okay, so it's gonna turn left to towards Legion now. Alright, so 18 miles from Legion. That's when we begin our descent to 15,000. Let's begin it now because we have 57 miles from our descent, so let's descend now to 15,000. So let it set the TMS to descent mode, and that 55 there is the minimum setting to get to keep the pressurization schedule. So we're descending now to 5,000. 20 miles from Legion. Descent checklist, descent procedure, team up, pressurization set, everything complete, gas potential, navigator. Landing data is VREF, flaps 133 is 20. 120. There's no wind, so we're not going to be making any correction angles. The call it minimum approach 258 minimum So comics, we would need to be at flight level at 13,000. We're looking to be at 13,000 by comics.
Los Angeles Center, American 1185 is climbing to 15,900, flight level 210. American 1185, Los Angeles Center, roger, altimeter 2988. American
Set the altimeter setting to 989 low elevation.
Turn right at X65, expect vector ILS, runway 9er, approach. American 1185, turn right at Airport 5. Turn right heading 245, expect vector ILS, runway 9er, approach. American 1185.
Oops, but we have to hold surface altitude. Because
American 1185,
over
41 miles northwest, turn right,
Legion, we have to be at a
125,
minimum
descend and maintain 2000, cleared ILS, runway 9er, approach, maintain 2000 until established on all line. Contact San Diego Towers on 118.3.
what? 41 miles north of turn right heading 125 descend and maintain 2. Okay, so you got cleared to descend to 2000.
Turn right heading 125, descend and maintain 2000, cleared ILS, runway 9er, approach, maintain 2000 until established. Tower on 118.3.
We just got cleared to descend to 2000.
Los Angeles Center, Southwest Niner, Fort Line, display 312,100 for flight level 210. Southwest Niner, Fort Line, Los Angeles Center, roger. Altimeter 2989er.
In event of a missed approach, we climb to 5000 and heading 095 and PGR. And then turn right, 93, not PGY, VOR 16.45.
Los Angeles Center, Delta 4717, set flight level 209er, descending 14,000.
Delta 4717, Los Angeles Center, roger.
Okay, so we're quite late on our descent path right now because we are 29 and 30. We're supposed to just lose. Okay, we're on time. We're directly on time.
Delta 4717, turn right heading 270.
At 30 nautical miles from MZB, we were supposed to do 30 times 30 divided by 3 is 10,000. So we're just inside of our bracket right now.
Climb and maintain flight level 270, United 817.
55% N1 is the minimum percentage that is required to maintain our pressurization schedule. That's how the aircraft works. You can't just close the throttles because the pressurization relies heavily on the engine air.
United 817, descend and maintain 13,000.
Approach checklist.
Descend and maintain 13,000.
Altimeter is set. Flight level is set. 8 as required. That's 2.
Southwest Niner 45, descend and maintain 7,000.
Panel set.
Descend and maintain 7,000. Southwest Niner 4 line.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
Your altimeter is cross-checked. Okay, 18. At 18, we're supposed to lose 6,000, so we're directly on schedule.
Cabin is secure.
But I want to be at 21 early. Okay, so at MZB we're gonna wait until MZB outbound 4.6 DME.
Southwest Niner 45, contact
We're gonna turn right heading 241 over the MZB.
7.4 for Southwest Niner 4 line.
Let's head directly to MZB from now. Because I see something is most definitely wrong with that.
United 817, contact SoCal approach on 127.4.
That's Atlanta.
127.4, United 817.
So we're heading directly to the MZB. We're 13 miles out at a good speed, 200 knots. 4,000.
Glide slopes alive, 1 dot to go.
Heading directly to the TME 2. Sorry. 7 miles out. Let's drop flaps 18. That's 18.
Speed check below 205, select gear down.
Even though we're under the weather now, we're still doing the published approach. So my speed is good. 180. Right heading 241. Wait until we get there.
Climb.
Turn right now heading 241. Until 4.6 DME. MZB. 7.3 DME. Localizer. When this switches 4.6, this will be 7.3. Then we head to right at 275. You follow the outbound localizer until 12.3. But the series to remain within 10 nautical miles. So yes, 4.3. Let's turn right now heading 275.
Traffic.
set to remain within 10 nautical miles. So I'm just gonna turn right hand 275 briefly. Let's turn left 45 degrees to the residual turn. It's 13, that's 5. We're gonna do this for 45 seconds.
Los Angeles Center, Southwest 4201. Pass 9 South 300, climb 12 South. Southwest 4201, Los Angeles Center, roger. Altimeter 990.
And I'll follow this direction for 45
Southwest
seconds.
4201, turn right at 320, resume on navigation.
Set to remain within 10 nautical miles.
Resume on navigation. Southwest
It's not possible right
4201.
now.
Southwest 4201, climb and maintain flight level 060.
Okay, so that's 45 seconds. Just turn right, 050.
Southwest 4201.
This will be our intercept heading. So we're going to arm now.
Localizer armed.
Localizer lock. Arming lights so
Fly slope armed.
to intercept the heading. We're 13 miles out. So we're good. Let's contact
San Diego Tower, American 1185,
the intercept
13
cables.
miles west, inbound ILS, runway 9er, approach. American 1185, San Diego Tower, make straight in, runway 9er, altimeter 29091. Make straight in, runway 9er, American 1185. Southwest 2546, turn next taxiway.
Localizer captured.
Climb, 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 traffic, climb, 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 climb,
San Diego Tower,
Climb,
Southwest 945,
climb,
8 miles west, inbound
climb,
ILS,
climb,
runway 9,
climb,
approach.
climb,
Southwest
climb,
945,
climb,
San Diego Tower, fly
climb,
straight in,
climb,
runway 9,
climb,
altimeter
climb,
You can actually see the airport
climb,
from here, so we're good.
climb, traffic, traffic, climb, traffic, climb,
Let's drop the gears now.
Speed check to below 180. Select flaps 24.
Speed of 150
Speed
knots.
check below 170. Select flaps 30.
The glides up now, so
Speed check below 145. Select flap 33. Glide slope captured. Established on the ILS.
Traffic, traffic, climb, traffic, traffic, climb, traffic, traffic, climb, traffic, traffic,
American 1185.
traffic,
CM says disconnect the TMS by 200 feet, so I don't know how to do that. So nice, right? That's a good, that's a published procedure there, and I hope that you learn how to do that. I would recommend do that as well. That aircraft is not going to allow us to land, so I'm gonna now move all of the traffic. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect the autopilot now.
Autopilot disconnected.
There's a nice stubborn feeling that I'm familiar with the PMDG 737 that is classical to these indicative of these type of turbo engine aircraft. You can listen to the wheel bump sound as well, which is very unique. And
200.
Glide slow, 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 glide
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
no reverse thrust, you just release the brakes,
Brake pressure seen.
air brakes, and then
Yellow
release
and
the
green
brakes.
spoilers. 80 knots. 60 knots.
That's crazy,
American
right?
1185. Exit runway when able.
No reverses, wow. Just brakes.
American 1185. Contact
So I would
ground
really
on
enjoy knowing what you
123.9.
think about this flight and what you think about the review.
Going to
I believe this is a very good
123.9.
aircraft, and as you
American
notice, if you notice when I took
1185.
off the autopilot, the aircraft sort of banked a little bit. So there are a number of issues. Well, not a number, but you know, there are issues. You can notice them. But it's not a lot to say that this is a bad aircraft. It's not a lot to say that this
San
is
Diego ground, American
a not a worthy aircraft for you to buy. You know,
American
I believe it's a good one.
11 using taxiway Charlie 3 Charlie 6 Bravo 6 Bravo.
I believe it's with the price. It's a very enjoyable aircraft, and I think that you should go and buy it here. I have no problem getting it.
Taxiing to 811 using taxiway Charlie 3 Charlie 6 Bravo 6 Bravo.
Definitely.
American 1185.
It definitely works. I like it a lot. Look at the reflections and the high resolution graphics. That's an actual image of the real aircraft that was used to produce this. I like the whole experience of flying this turbojet aircraft. When everything is so impressive, the sound is so immersive, the sound environment is excellent. It's one of the best I've ever heard, and this is one of the best cockpit environments I've ever seen. It's the entire thing is so fully modeled. The failures are present. I can set failures if I want under my aircraft. Has failure elements in it. All my instruments work. Points to be improved is firstly the FMS. That's not acceptable, you know, that's not a whole FMS there, and this is an expensive aircraft, so it needs to improve on that. The cockpit save system must be improved, and I think it's a design. This is how the aircraft is made, but I think that this should have been optional. I think that they should have given me a map and an electronic flight instrument system. That analog thing is nice, but there should be a choice. That's a whole separate. That's not how the aircraft was designed. And these number of issues, you know, just so some of the programming issues. I noticed that this ATC works without even the avionics on, so I can turn off my avionics and the ATC still works.
Cabin crew, doors to manual and cross-check.
San Diego ground, Spirit Wing 673 West Alpha, ready to taxi, IFR. Spirit Wing 673, taxi to and hold short of runway 9er, via taxiway Alpha Bravo 10, contact tower on 118.3 when ready. Taxiing hold short runway 9er, via taxiway Alpha Bravo 10, Spirit Wing 673.
TCAS system test OK.
Okay, well, thank you for watching my review. You can consider subscribing for more reviews of some great aircraft. I believe that this is one of the best that has been released. Just Flight is really climbing up there in terms of quality and stuff, you know. And I think that we should support them more. We should check out their general aviation airplanes, which are just top of the line, you know. And this airplane is definitely one of the best.